Hello everyone and welcome back to Tigerverse. You clicked on this video because you want to learn about the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro, and you will be learning those during this whole playlist. Actually, this is going to be a short course and you will be having like 3 or 4 videos maybe. I have actually not decided yet how many videos I'm going to make, but I will be completing almost all of the basics. Like actually after completing this playlist, you will be able to edit videos maybe as a beginner user or maybe as an intermediate user. You would be able to do a lot of stuff and you will be happy with that. So first of all, as you can see, I was off channel for a long time. I was not posting anything, and the things I was posting were like the live streams from Twitch and some mini illustrations, etc. So I was off because I was trying to focus on some teaching stuff, and I was able to. So in the last few months, when I was off YouTube, I was making different kinds of content. I was making mini class sessions or mini teaching sessions, you can say. These are all up on different platforms. You can check it out on Udemy, you can check out on SkillSuccess, and you can check out on Skillshare. You will get the link to all of those in the description. I'll be suggesting going for SkillSuccess and Skillshare, etc., because that is gonna cost you less. But at the moment, most of my learning sessions are available on SkillSuccess, so it would be great if you can go and check that out. Link will be obviously in description. So enough talking about the previous stuff. Now let's move on towards the video. So first of all, let me tell you that this is gonna be a short course. This is titled as Adobe Premiere Pro Basics, or you can say Adobe Premiere Pro for beginners, and this is gonna be lecture number 1 in that playlist. During this playlist, you will be learning about all of the basics. You will be learning how to do the basic video editing, how to add lower thirds, how to add transitions, use different kinds of effects, add cuts, messing with the sound, etc., etc., etc. All of this would be done, but all of this cannot be done. Actually, all of this can be done inside one video, but that would not make you click the video actually, because that would be a long 1 or 2 or 3 hour video. So that is why I'm just cutting this to some fractions, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes per video. You will have 3 or 4 videos or maybe 5 videos for a playlist. You can just watch that playlist and jump right into video editing journey. So for the moment, we will be going with lecture 1, in which we will be talking about introduction, interface, creating project and sequence, importing files, basics of timeline, cutting and adjustment of clips, audio basics, and then exporting of clips. So these are the 8 topics that would be covered inside this video. First of all, let's talk about the introduction. What is Adobe Premiere Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro CC, and what are the differences? So Adobe Premiere Pro is actually a video editing software powered by Adobe, obviously, and this is a quite powerful video editing software. You can do a lot of stuff in it. It's actually most biased towards the post production of the basic video editing. You can actually do all of the stuff in it. You can do the masking, you can do the color grading, you can do green screen, etc. But still we have some different kinds of options there. We can go for Adobe After Effects when going for camera tracking and visual effects. We can go for DaVinci Resolve when you are going for color grading and stuff. But Adobe Premiere Pro is like a go-to for every video editor who has maybe um, a lesser NPC, you can say, or who just wants everything to be included inside one software and just wants the basic video editing. So next thing is Adobe Premiere Pro CC and simple Adobe Premiere Pro. So this is just a difference between the variants released in different years, although there are some differences based on the credibility of the software, based on how the software performs on your computer or your PC. But still, even the Adobe Premiere Pro from 2015 can do the task you want actually as a beginner. So everything will depend on how task intensive is your computer. So basically, if your computer can perform well, you can go with Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2021, 2022. If your computer is not able to support Adobe Premiere Pro, you can go with 2015 version, and that makes totally sense. So nothing to worry about in these versions. The next thing is, can my PC run Adobe Premiere Pro or not? So your PC actually can run Adobe Premiere Pro if you have like a core to do a system and with around 8 GB of RAM. You can go with the 2015 version. I know some people will be saying in comments that does not work. Actually, I have experienced that it works. I've used to do that on my laptop, so nothing to worry about. You can actually go for video editing, but that will obviously doesn't mean that if it works that you can go for 4K video editing and stuff. You have to actually check out the limits of your gear. Like if you have a core to do system with 8 GB of RAM, you should go for 720p editing. If you have a better computer, maybe like an i5, i7, you can go with full HD. If you have even a better processor like i7 10th gen or Ryzen series with a dedicated graphics card, you can go with the 4K. Enough talking about the versions and introduction to the software. Now let's talk about interface and creating project, etc. So when you open Adobe Premiere Pro, this is the screen that you're gonna see. Here you can see some of my recent projects. These are all related to the classes I made. So I can just click on this to close that. And now we have this basic interface of Adobe Premiere Pro. You cannot see anything just because we are not on a project right now. So let's click on File, go to New, and click on Project. And this will open up this new project window. Default settings work fine. You do not need to change anything except changing the location. So you'll just click on Browse and change the location. And I will be going with this location. Here I go. So here it is. I've changed my location, and then I can type on the name of project. So the name of project for me will be lecture 1. I just press enter, and now I am inside Adobe Premiere Pro, and this is my interface. So here we are inside Adobe Premiere Pro, and you can see this is the interface we get when we open up a new project. Now maybe if you are just checking out this video, learning from this, and you will be doing simultaneously what I'm teaching you, so some of you may find the interface unfamiliar, and that is because the interface is actually made up of different kinds of panels here, and sometimes these panels get docked and undocked depending upon which version you are using. So you can either click on this editing button to get the same interface as mine, or you can go to Window, then go to Workspace and click on Reset to save layout, and you will get the same layout as mine. So here we are inside Adobe Premiere Pro with this layout. Here you can see each panel has its name. It says program, it says source, effect controls, audio clip mixer, timeline, etc, etc, etc. All of these will be discussed respectively when we will be doing the stuff. So first of all, we want to learn how to import files inside Adobe Premiere Pro, because that is going to be the first step when you are going to make a project. So the files can be an image, maybe a PNG, JPEG image. Files can be a video file, maybe a raw video file, an MP4 file, an AVI file, or files can be an audio, maybe an MP3 or WAV file. So there are two methods to import the files inside Adobe Premiere Pro. First is you can go to File, and here you can see the button saying Import, and you just click on it and a window pops up and you select something. Maybe you can see I just double click this file, and when I double click this, I can see this inside my source monitor. This is an image file which I imported. Similarly, if I double click and import a video file, double click it, this is the video file which I imported. As you can see, so this is the method number 1. The method number 2 of importing the files is when you go to the project tab or the project panel, you just double click here and you will get a pop-up where you can select the file and import. So here you can see I just imported the same files. So now I will be importing some of the files which we will be using throughout this video just to make sure that you learn some basics of cutting and trimming, etc. So I'll just import some of the files. Let's say I'll go with So as you can see, we have imported some of the files. Now let's talk about the timeline basics. So when you are going towards the timeline, first of all, the first thing that you need to have is a sequence. Now what is a sequence? It is like a video of a supposed length in which you have particular video settings. For example, I'll just clue you in. If you click on this new item button, you can create a new file inside the project, and we'll be creating a sequence. And when you go towards the sequence, you have different kinds of presets. You can go with 24 frames, you can go with widescreen, you can go with 1080p, etc., etc., etc. I will be going with HD 1080p 24 as it is the cinematic preset, or you can say the cinematic standard actually. So here we have a sequence, and now inside this sequence, if we do not change the settings of any of these clips, when we drop these, all of these clips will have the same settings like the sequence. And with the settings, I mean the frame rate, the audio bit rate, and the dimensions. So let's say this is the video file. If I just drag it by holding left mouse button and drop it here, it asks me whether I want to change the sequence settings or I want to keep existing settings. If I click on keep existing settings, the clip will have the same settings as the sequence, and if I click on change sequence settings, the clip settings will change. So I will just click on keep existing settings, and we have the file here. And this is this simple to drag and drop video files or audio files or anything inside your sequence. You'll just click on one clip, hold your left mouse button and drop, hold your left mouse button and drop. One thing to mention here is that as you can see here is written V1, V2, V3 and A1, A2, A3. So the A format is for the audio files and V format is for video files. You can just zoom it in a bit. Now the V1 clip is the basic clip that we have all our files on, and if I click on this clip and move it to V2, we will see V2 clip, and V1 clip is not visible at the moment. And this is because the higher your clip goes and the clip present on the higher clip numbers will be more visible. Simply you can say that the video clip that will be present on top will be visible, and that will be present in bottom of that will not be visible. Although if you go to change the settings of the clip present above, maybe you can change the opacity settings, the lower clip will start to become visible. As you can see, now we can see both of the clips at the same time. So this is how the layering inside timeline works. For example, let's say you want to add some video elements like some bars or some, let's say, some lower thirds, etc. So what you can do is you will just create some bars or you can create some lower thirds. I will be showing you how to create the bars right now. So I can just go like this and this, and see we have some bars here. Let's just increase these a bit. Yes, 95 will work fine. And now we have the bars, and these are not interfering with our clip because these are on top. But if I drop the clip file, the video clip file above the bars will not be visible. So the stacking of these clips is very helpful when you are creating cuts or when you are using different kinds of elements inside the one scene or one frame. This is some basic stuff regarding videos in your timeline. Also, you can click on this button to turn off visibility of a clip, and you can click on this button to lock a clip so you cannot mess that up. This was about the video section of Adobe Premiere Pro's timeline. When you come towards the audio section, you can again see A1, A2, A3, and it is same as you can add 2 or 3 audios at the same moment. For example, I can just go like this, and we will be able to hear all of the audios simultaneously. Like here you can see here are 3 audios.
Start.
If I move this like this,
Start.
we'll hear 2. If I go like this,
Assalamualaikum.
so we'll have 1. And this is how the basic sound design mechanism when you are doing the video editing occurs. This was about the basics of timeline inside Adobe Premiere Pro. Now we will be talking about the cutting and adjustment of the clips. So first of all, let's talk a bit about adjustment. Now let's say I have these 3 clips. This is clip number 1, 2, and 3. So for these 3 clips, I want to adjust them in some manner that looks visible. So 1, 2, and 3. So right now you can see this portion is the one that happens first. This is the one that happens after that. And this is the portion that continues. So first of all, we have to get the portion number 1 or sequence number 1 to the start, and for that you can just hold your left mouse button and drag it to the start. It is suggested to use V1 video clip. So we have V1 first, and then we have to arrange the clip number 2 after that. So you can just hold left mouse button again and drag it all the way to the end of clip number 1, and similarly for the clip number 3. Now we have all of the clips arranged. Now let's talk about cutting. So to add cuts, you can just press C on your keyboard, or here in the toolbar you can select this button and just click, 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 and you have different cuts here. You have this separated, you have this separated, you have this separated. So first of all, let's say we want a cut at this point. So I have this fraction. I don't want this, I can just delete it. And then I have this fragment, and I just want this from here. I'll just delete this again, move this so it adds a cut, and from this part I'll add another cut, delete the rest, and let's say we are here. So here we have
Start.
clip number 1, cutting to clip number 2, cutting to clip number 3, and this is it. And this is how you do the basic, cutting and trimming of the clips inside Adobe Premiere Pro. Now when it comes to audio basics, you can pretty much include sound design in that. You can add the amplification, noise reduction, cutting and trimming of audio, and linking the audio files. Now for that example, as you see, when you click on a video file here, the audio automatically gets selected because the audio file is linked to that video file. It is pretty helpful when you are adding cuts, because as you see, when I click on cut and I move that file, my audio is still with it. If my audio was not with it, it would be very messy for me to find the audio file separately and then link to that video file. So this is pretty helpful when you have the properly recorded video which also have the audio with it. But when you have just a voiceover, so you can just drop the audio file, and if it is even linked with the video file, you can just right click, and here you will see the button unlink. And when you unlink, your video is free to go anywhere, your audio is free to go anywhere. You can move that audio to any part, you can move that video to any part, and nothing is gonna mess up here. Now for the next thing, if your audio is very low, in some cases you can see when you are recording, your mic was not properly set up, you can modify that just by going to effect controls and increasing the level of audio, or decreasing if you have higher audio. This was a door closing sound, so we can reduce that or we can increase that. So this is how the basic leveling of audio works. We will learn more about this when we will be discussing effects and sound design, etc. So this is pretty much it for this lecture. And the only thing that remains right now is exporting basics. So you can just click on the file, then export, and then media. And when you click on this, you will have this window pop up. On the left side, you will be able to see your sequence which will be rendered. You can always modify the length of that by just moving these tiny cursors. I will just have all of the sequence, and then you can go to this format button to change the format if you want the format to be something else than sequence, or you can just click on match sequence settings to have the same. Now, previously we decided that we wanted everything to be in 24 frame per second. As you can see, when I clicked on match sequence settings, the sequence had a 24 frame rate. But if you want to change that, you can just turn it off and click on this button to turn it off and change the sequence settings. And you can even change the width and height and other dimensions of the video file. This was pretty much it regarding the export, and when you click on the export button, it will be exported with this name to the designated folder where you have it saved. So this was all regarding this lecture. I hope you have learned a lot. I will be just enlisting all of the things again. You learned about introduction, interface, creating projects, sequence, importing file, the basics of timeline, cutting and adjustment of the clips inside timelines, some basics regarding audio, and exporting of clips inside Adobe Premiere Pro. This was pretty much for this lecture. I will be back with another lecture soon. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss any update. Also, try to follow me on Skillshare. Check out my courses on SkillSuccess. Check me out on Udemy and follow me on Instagram, etc. All of the links and everything will be linked inside the description. You can find everything there. And if you have any kind of question, you can always ping me up on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, or even in the comments. Have a good day. Bye bye.